Welcome to the Week 4 post-game show. I got a squad of interns with me. This should be a good one. We got Brendan, Racine, and Jack, the big three, some will call them. And we had a good week of basketball, I'm not going to lie. We had some good games. A lot of teams are really starting to show their true colors, and we're starting to see, who's kind of 4 through 8 in the power rankings and who's separating between the first two teams in that 3-4 spot. Because I think we all might agree there are two teams that are separating themselves right now from the rest of the league. But speaking of two teams that are in the mid-pack, and it's kind of the biggest battle of the week, and that was NLMB and Street Ballers. And man, NLMB, they continue, they're doing their thing. They had a rough first two games, Flint and Get Money, and then they have just not looked back ever since. I mean, they look incredible. They picked up right where they left off last year, and just so you guys know, last year, they had one of their best players. He was the fifth man of the year. He averaged, I think, 30, 14, and like 4. He was phenomenal. He played with AirPods. I think I brought him up before. Everyone calls him AirPod Drew. So they're kind of figuring out how to play without him because they lost him, and he's a big piece. But this NLMB team, man, I mean, just to go back a little, Alex Willis, the guy on their team, I think he's number 3. He was actually on Get Money's first year. And then they made the finals, and he left, and he made NLMB. And ever since he left, this NLMB team is just feisty. They shoot the three really well, and they play a great brand of basketball, so I'm happy for them. We're going to go Jack and then Brendan. Jack, hit me. What'd you see here?
I mean, NLMB, of course, had a lot of high hopes. I know Joey had a lot of high hopes for NLMB, but the last 2 weeks, they've definitely been putting it all together. Christian, number 7 on NLMB, I love watching him. He's got a little shifty moves. He hits a lot of threes. But for Street Ballers, they're like one of the few teams that I feel like doesn't take most of their shots as 3-pointers. And if you're not hitting your twos, you're not going to win. You're not going to win a lot of games. They got to hit their twos, and they got to start shooting more threes.
Yeah, no, against NLMB, you need to hit your threes. And if you're not if you're not making your shots in the paint, it's going to be a tough one. Brendan, hit me with it. What'd you see in this one?
I'm like NLMB's biggest fan. I love the way they play basketball. They shoot a lot. I mean, Christian and Dante are both lethal from 3. Christian shot 44% last week. I mean, the guy just can't miss right now. I think them, especially again, their big man number 15, Greg Clay. He came back this week. I mean, they won last week without him, but he came back this week, and he's just good for their spacing and just going down the stretch and in transition. He knows how to pass, and he's a big man that can shoot, so he's really good for spacing. And I think NLMB is a scary team in transition. They're just way too fast, especially against the Street Ballers team that we said can only really shoot the 2, can't really shoot the 3. They're just a really fast team, and they're going to surprise a lot of people. I know they went 0-2 to start the season, but 2-2 is more than fair for what they should be at right now. I think they're a top 3 team easily.
Yeah, no, I agree. NLMB, look, like I said, this team's feisty. They had a rough first two games, and then they're good. Christian Dessou is phenomenal. He's won a Connor. Last year he didn't make the All-Star team, and Connor, I know, was not happy about that. This team, the Christian Dessou Dante Hodge duo, is very, very lethal. I mean, they average together about 47 points per game, and they shoot about 45% from 3 together. So, and Dante
Shades of
Hodge is
Curry
having
and
a down
Clay.
year. Yeah, and he's having a down year too. Dante Hodge, just so you guys know, two-time I think 3-point champion, 3-point contest champion. This team, I agree with Brendan. NLMB is the definition of a team. If you're Flint or Run TMC right now, you do not want to get to the semifinals, and you got Run TMC sitting there waiting for you because they just play you hard. Their big guy, he is probably maybe one of the biggest guys I've ever seen play in this league, and when we have big guys, a lot of times, sometimes they play slow or they just don't do anything. He drives to the hole. He's screaming out there. He's the heart of this team. So I agree with Brendan. I'm really a fan of this NLMB team, and I'm excited to see what they can do going forward. I always like to look at the schedule. Let's see who they got coming up because there's going to be some big games coming up for some of these teams, especially let's see in week 5 they play the Syndicate next week. That's another should be win. I think we'd all agree, and then Snipe Squad, I mean, they played all their hard games. They got Run TMC week 7, but I think NLMB is going to go on a little run here and start to pick up some steam and go in the right direction. But speaking of a team who's trying to pick up some steam and playing better, and that's Lux Gang. And Lux Gang came out and, made us all eat a little crow, and they dominated Enterprise Elite. And I know we predicted that, but Lux Gangs, they're playing well. They're playing good basketball. They really are figuring it out in this league. They're attacking the rim. This team doesn't shoot the 3 particularly amazing. They have some good shooters, but they have athleticism. They're big, and they can attack the rim. Racine, I'm going to go to you. How we feeling with this Lux Gang Enterprise Elite game where Lux Gang kind of took it to them?
Yeah, you mentioned their athleticism and how they attack the rim. I'm not too sure of his name. He doesn't have a jersey right now, but I think Luxing they're led by him. Like I've watched him the past couple weeks, and he's really impressed me the way he attacks the rim too.
Trayvon
So
Jones.
yeah, Trayvon Jones. Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from him. So if he continues to play the way he is right now, they're going to be in really good shape. But I have to say, for the majority of the game, Enterprise Elite was down 4-3, but they were actually in it for like a first part of the first and second quarter. So I like what I saw from them, even though the past couple of weeks haven't been very good for them. So
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, hey, look, Enterprise Elite. I've been there before. I've been there playing in this league. We lost every game. You got three guys. That's how it is. Go out there, have fun, shoot some threes. Get your money's worth. Hopefully, they can get some more guys going forward. But for Lux Gang, just keep pushing. I think they're trending, another team trending in the right direction, and I think we're all excited to see Lux Gang maybe play a little better competition. I would love to see Lux Gang play Lord's Army. Maybe Snipe Squad would be a great test for them. Same with NLMB. Maybe they could, give them a little run here. But shout out to Lux Gang, and we're gonna go to the next game. And speaking of a good game, got the game of the week here. That's the Flint Tropics versus Get Money, and the Flint Tropics did what they do best. They took out Get Money 78-68. This was a battle. Kyle Davis had a great game. He continues to play well, but the Flint Tropics, just their team basketball is too good. The way they work the ball around with Jaquan Jackson, Mike Bizzuto, Matt Fink, this team is just extremely, extremely hard to beat, and you're not going to beat this team if you're, taking dumb shots, turning the ball over, and you got to make your easy layups. You got to hit your free throws, especially when you play the top teams in our league. You can't give them free buckets, and we're gonna get into the Run TMC Snipe Squad matchup a little later, but it's kind of the same thing. You gotta play 100% sound basketball when you're playing a team like Flint, because if you give them, a few things here and there, they're gonna just run away with this one, and that's what Flint did in this one. Jack, I'll start with you. How did Flint take out Get Money in this one?
I mean, you can't say enough good things about Flint Tropics. They play like such a cohesive unit. I don't think they had a single player shoot under 50%, and they made two-thirds of their twos of the whole team, and they shot almost 50% from the three. I mean, that's going to win you every game. Mike Bizzuto might be my favorite player in the entire league. I love watching him play. But I finally got to see Quan Jackson, and there might not be a more exciting player in the entire league than Quan Jackson. He's awesome. And Get Money, Kyle Davis kept them close. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of playmaking, not a lot of rebounds, but he gets buckets. And they made it closer than I thought, than I would have predicted, honestly. So props to them for making it close. Flint Tropics is a good team.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I think what happens a lot of times with Get Money is they go down a little bit, and then Kyle, Tysheen, just so you guys know, the guy on the sidelines in the street clothes, Tyron, he was all-star, legacy, all first, second team guy. He tore his Achilles last season, so it was a big loss for them. He's probably, in my opinion, their second or third best player. He's just as good, almost just as good as like Kyle. He's right there. And I think they're just missing him out on that court, because when Kyle and Tysheen aren't out there, I don't really see much scoring. I love Nas. He's a great player, but it's hard for big guys in this league to really... Dave Armstrong on Run TMC is a great example of how to make an impact as a big guy, but it's not really scoring 30 or 40. And I just think Get Money's trying to put it together and figure it out. I will say, this Get Money team, the past two seasons, they started their first year, they started 0-1, they made the chip. Second year, I think they were fourth or fifth in the power rankings at one point. They made the chip again. So this Get Money team plays the best when, their back's behind the wall. And, Racine, I'm going to go to you. What did you see? You like anything from this Get Money Flint Tropics game, or was it just Flint dominating?
oh no, I loved what I saw from both teams. I've been pretty high on Get Money. Uh, Again, I'm not too familiar with the names. I like number. They have, I think, one of the most in-depth teams in this league. Like I can name 97, 4, 5, and 1. I know they got like very good players in their lineups, and then players coming off the bench as well. So even though they took the loss, I was really like what I saw, because I think Flint Tropics, it's not that they didn't play well. I think just Flint Tropics is just that good of a team. You know, Connor actually told me that they have two former league MVPs too. on their team. So it just goes to show they're led by two very good players, and they also have very good depth on their team as well. So to me, it's more about Flint Tropics being the better team and more about Get Money not performing well.
I agree. I agree. Get money. They'll figure it out. I mean, look, they're not going to play Flint every week. They're going to get some syndicates in here, some Lord's Armies. They'll get, Snipe Squad, Lux Gang. Next thing you know, Get Money. We'll finish the season probably with 6 wins. So 6-5, they'll be fine. They're going to be good. But, I agree with everything you guys said. They're going to have to figure out a different brand of basketball to play when they're playing Flint or they're playing Run TMC because they need more from the other guys. And, we're going to see if they can do it. But speaking of other guys who showed up, that's going to be this next game, and this is going to be the cousin family battle. We had a family affair in this one, and that was Lord's Army taking on Syndicate. Shout out to Alex Rivera and the boys, Jay Velez, just all Jake Morales, Jason Hernandez, all the OGs, a lot of OGs in this game. But Lord's Army took down Syndicate 89-73, and this was Lord's Army's best game I've seen them play this year. Jason Hernandez was flying all over. Jay Velez was hitting threes. Look, Lord's Army, when they are rolling, are playing great. Lord's Army, to me, is the perfect middle-of-the-pack team in this league. I think NLMB's top tier. I think those teams are top tier. I think Snipe Squad is better than Lord's Army, but I think Snipe Squad has a little more ceiling. Lord's Army, to me, I think they just max out around the 4-5 spot, and they're just one of those teams that when they play Syndicate, when they play Lux, Enterprise Elite, Street Ballers, I might have to pick Lord's Army in all those matchups. The Street Ballers one would be a good one, and I kind of want to see that one. But I love what I see from Lord's Army. They know this game. They've been in this league for a while. They have guys who are all-stars and three-point contest champions. And, I like to see those guys having fun. I have a soft spot for them. But as for the Syndicate goes, keep your head up, boys. I know, obviously, one of their better players, was involved in something, and, they lost a guy, and, we send our thoughts and prayers to him. But Syndicate, head up, keep pushing. You're going to get a few games coming up where you can get some wins. It's, you just go into maybe get a few wins, go into the playoffs with a little momentum, get Alex Rivera going. I know Alex Rivera wants to get that Most Improved Player award, and, he's playing well. He's playing well. But, Brendan, I'm going to go to you. You saw this game. What'd you see? Lord's Army Syndicate.
I really like this. I'm a huge fan of the Syndicate, too. They just lack the spacing that I think they need. They lack the spacing, and they lack the depth, and a lot of their scoring comes from 2 to 3 guys, Eric Moore and Alex Rivera and a couple other guys, but they just don't have a lot of depth. I mean, they show up with 4, 5, 6 guys every week, and only 2 or 3 of them can really score. I think that's kind of their issue, and it really down the stretch. I mean, they stuck with Lord's Army for a lot of the game, but I mean, Lord's Army had a full bench, full of high flyers, and they're just going to wear and tear down on you. And when you only have 2 or 3 guys scoring, it's going to get ugly down the stretch.
Yeah, in this league, you need depth, and we say it all the time. There's a reason all 3 of these interns keep saying, they got a lot of guys on the team, especially when it's 4v4. It's spaced, and this league, especially if you notice, TMC, Get Money, all these experienced teams, what do? They play in transition. They're cherry picking half the time. You need depth. You need the energy. You got anything else, Brendan?
I mean, like I just said, Lord's Army's a really fast-paced team, and when you're a team like the Syndicate with only 5 or 6 guys, I mean, it's definitely a lot. So shout out to the Syndicate for sticking it out. I mean, they're playing their balls off right now, and they just need to put their head down, like you said, and just keep moving.
Yeah, just keep it pushing. Better days ahead. You guys got this, and hey, there's always going to be next week, and you'll be good. Just playoffs are coming. Everyone makes it. So you're playing with house money. Just do your thing. But speaking of house money, we got house money over at Run TMC. We got the Commissions team coming out, and hey, Run TMC, you guys keep on rolling. They had a few guys not there. Eric Langston's still not there. Pooch there. I don't think Pooch is going. I'm going to stop saying that. Eric Langston was not there, but they got Cody DiLeonardo, my boy Captain America, and Will Hudson back. Will Hudson has scored 1,000 points in this league. Cody DiLeonardo's been in this league since the beginning. Never forget his first team, Blood, Sweat, and Beers. And, I mean, Run TMC, look, it's the same thing with Flint. Veteran. They play the game differently because they kind of run through Reggie, but Reggie is just do it all. Rebounds, assists. He does everything you need out there, and he's a leader. And them adding Devon Pratt and Dave Armstrong was such a great addition because Pratt's a great three-point shooter. He's been an MVP in this league. Pratt's a phenomenal player. What Pratt does best is elevate his teammates and make everyone better, sets the vibe right. I'm sure you guys know doesn't it could be sports, video games, in the lunchroom, out the bar with your friends, like anything, a family party. There's always going to be those people that are the vibes guys or the vibes girls or whatever you need to be, and they are just good vibes. They bring everyone together. They're the life of the party, and Devon Pratt does that for this Run TMC team. Reggie's the engine, but Devon Pratt is the charisma. He is everything for this Run TMC team, because when Reggie gets going, he's screaming out there. When Eric Singleton dunks, he's screaming. Devon Pratt is just, the way he is as a teammate, even though he's such a great basketball player, is something that I just love. So I'm going to let these boys take it. I'm going to go Jack. Jack, what'd you see? The commish taking out Snipe Squad.
I mean, Devon Pratt, he might not be the number one scoring option on this team, but he's definitely the glue guy. He makes the team tick. And Reggie Stewart, I mean, even when they were down in the first half, his playmaking was keeping them in the game, and he had an off game from 3-point range for him anyway. And so did the whole team, but they were in it with their playmaking and their rebounds. I watched that game. Their rebounds is definitely what won them that game. And for Snipe Squad, I mean, Tim Case is that he could argue is the best offensive player on the court. Snipe Squad's defensive, intensiveness is not there. They don't get any of those offensive rebounds or defensive rebounds. And Tim Case is a good player. He could be a number one scoring option on a championship team, I think. But is he a leader? I mean, they're pretty immature. They spend more time fighting with the refs and going for rebounds, and that's not going to get them far in the playoffs. They're a good regular season team, but they're not going to make it far in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tim Case, former Offensive Player of the Year. Tim Case is one of the best scorers in this league, but I couldn't agree more. I'll say my piece at the end. Racine, what'd you see? TMC Snipe Squad.
I think I have to say Reggie Jackson is. I'm sorry, Reggie Stewart. My
Shout
bad.
out Reggie Jackson, though.
Yeah, Reggie Stewart is probably my favorite player to watch in this league. I mean, I was doing HD video on the side where Snipe Squad bench was, and he was talking to their bench the entire game while he was dropping, I think, 23, 5, and 7. Like, he reminds me of Anthony Edwards. He can talk trash and he can back it up. So if he continues to play like he is, I mean, Run TMCs, they're definitely championship contenders. And then also, as you guys were mentioning before, just like the rebounding, and I just think they're bigger in size too. Like, I can't remember how many times I saw I think it was Miles Raymond that he had a putback dunk or he had an alley-oop dunk to somebody. So I think also just their size helped them dominate that game. And then, as for Snipe Squad, I mean, it's kind of their name. I just think that the threes weren't falling for them in the game. But yeah, I just don't really see them contending because they rely on their three-point shot, and unfortunately, what I've seen from the past couple of weeks, that it hasn't been too consistent, and obviously when that's not consistent, that's not going to win you games. So, but I just really like what I saw from Run TMC, and then if Reggie Stewart continues to do his thing, they're really going to be in championship contenders' place.
Yeah, Reggie, 3-time MVP for a reason, might be getting his 4th MVP. Brendan, what did we see in this one?
I agree with the fellas. I mean, TMC is really good. You could tell that they've been playing together for a while. They're a well-oiled machine, and they just keep moving. But I do want to give my flowers to the Snipe Squad. I think a lot of people are kind of doubting, and I watched them play Flint Tropics week 1, I believe, and I think it was you, Greg, actually, that said you're like, that's just a really good team over there, Flint Tropics. I think this Snipe Squad can surprise a lot of people, and I couldn't agree more. I think they have a lot of internal communication things that they need to straighten out. Like, they need to talk some game plan a little bit and take a step back and just a breather, because sometimes they just get a little too in over their heads in the games, and they start to freak out. They start talking to the refs. But if they take a step back and they just take a deep breath, I think they could really cause a lot of issues. I mean, the top 3 players all got into foul trouble last game, taking them out of the game early and late. And I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster. But I think the Snipe Squad, if they can hone in some of their rambunctious tendencies, I think they could cause a lot of havoc that people wouldn't expect out of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm going to say one thing to Snipe Squad. Snipe Squad, look at me right now if you're listening to this shit. Lock the fuck in. I don't know what you guys are doing when you're playing Run TMC and them. You guys are down 8 points. Don't start getting Reggie going. Get Pratt going. That is the worst possible thing you could have done. I agree with what Brendan said. I think we all agree. If there was a tier list for this league, I'd say we got TMC and Flint, probably S, around the S tier, and then we got Get Money's right below them for sure, because they lost. They're not in their same tier. And then, I mean, the Street Ballers, Snipe Squad, Lords, Snipe Squad, you guys have a chance. I'd say NLMB's with Get Money, and then Snipe Squad, you guys have a chance to easily, clearly be the fourth best team in this league. Angelo, my guy Angelo, I need better games out of you, brother. I need better games. 1 for 6 shooting from 3, that's not gonna do it for me. I've seen Angelo. He was an all-star last year. Last summer, Angelo shot 60% from the field with 24 points per game, and he had, I think, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, this Snipe Squad's team, I said it the first week to Brendan because I know how good they can be. They're just young, and they just have to focus. And look, the refs, you might not agree with the refs all the time. I played baseball. I got thrown out of a million games by umps. It happens. But I need them to just lock in and just focus up on whatever's ahead of them. Next week, they get Lux game. They should win that game. They should take that game out. Then the week after that is NLMB, and that's a huge test for them. If they go into Lux Gang and they'll be are they going to NLMB? They'll be about 3-2. This is the chance where if you beat NLMB in this game, us as me and all the interns might look at that and be like, all right, Snipe Squad, I'll see what you could do, because then they end the season with Enterprise Elite, and that's their season. So they played their pretty much hardest games already. I just think Snipe Squad, you guys just got to take a deep breath, lock in, figure out a little better rotations, because sometimes there's some guys out there, especially against Run TMC, that looked overmatched. And I think Racine said it, the rebounding. Dave Armstrong is the best rebounder in this league. He's been the best rebounder in this league, and he is just forever going to be the best rebounder in this league. Scave, man, you are a problem. He is just, he's the bald guy on TMC, and Dave does not, he gets every rebound. He plays hard and aggressive. And you want to know what the funniest part about this is? Reggie, Pratt, and Dave all played high school ball together, and you can tell by the way they play, they got that chemistry. And Run TMC, man, look, I love my Flint Tropics, but if I had to pick right now, I think Run TMC is probably the favorite in Vegas if I had to pick odds. But I don't have to pick because I'm going Flint, but, that's my shtick, so whatever. But I'm going to ask these interns. We had a great week of basketball. We're 4 weeks in right now. I think we'd all probably agree Reggie's clearly an MVP favorite, so I'm not going to go in that realm. I'm going to go for championship picks. I'll always give you guys the option. You can either choose 2 teams in the chip and say who wins, or just pick 1 team, and that's your squad. I'm going to go Jack, Racine, then Brendan. Jack, who you got? Right now, this can change too. Not locked in, just as of right now.
I think it's hard to argue against Flint Tropics. I mean, they'll have off games. If they keep consistency going throughout the year, I can't see anyone beating them. Even Run TMC, I can't see anyone beating them.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick. Shout out my Flint boys. I think it's between them and Run TMC. But Racine, you got a wild card in here? Get money?
I do. I have Flint Dropshires Get Money. I mean, I think people.
Okay.
I think just don't sleep on them just yet. I really believe in them. I think they will get to the championship. So yeah, I got Flint Tropics Get Money.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, not a bad pick. Get Money has been in the championship the past 2 seasons, and like I said, they were not the 1 or 2 teams in the power rankings either of those seasons. They fought and clawed their way, and there's always some upsets. Plus, it's a men's league. Some people might get sick, might not be able to go. Maybe, a wife's having a baby. You never know. Brendan, coming to you. Who you got? Who's your finals looking like?
I know I've already expressed my my love for these guys, but I'm a huge NLMB fan. I think they could really shock a lot of people. I mean, people saw them start 0-2, and they kind of wrote them off. But I think NLMB is really going to come out. They've won the last 2 weeks, and I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon. They've got their hard games behind them. They're going to finish as a high seed. I think their bottom is going to be like a 4 seed probably. Yeah. And I think they'll have a pretty easy to the chip path to the chip before the semifinals. And I think they're going to surprise some people. I think since game 1, the Tropics kind of plateaued. And I think NLMB, if they play that game back again, NLMB versus the Tropics, I think something could get a little messy.
Yeah. Hey, I got to say, love it. Usually when I ask this, everyone's like, TMC. Different picks. I love it. I appreciate you all being straight up. And, on the NLMB thing really quick, NLMB gets run next week. They play Snipe Squad, and then they'll play the Syndicate their next 2 weeks. So, nothing crazy. NLMB Snipe's going to be a big game, but, I think NLMB should handle it. It's a big moment for Snipe, but that Week 7 matchup against Run TMC, if NLMB's going in on a win streak, that's, again, another test for them to say, hey, we're here. We're ready to play. And even if they lose that game but keep it close, which is what they've been doing, that's a good sign for them. But I appreciate you boys, keeping it real for me. I just want to shout out everyone in the league. It was a great week. It's been a great 4 weeks. Shout out Joey, Connor, all the other interns, everyone. And shout out to these boys. Appreciate you guys getting on. I want you guys go enjoy your weekend. For me, Greg Horne, for Jack, Brendan, and Racine, it has been a pleasure. And we'll see you guys in week 5.